We are here. We've got our fists in the air. We are the nation. What's going on, man? Where can everyone catch you? And thank you so much for doing this.
Dude, thank you for having me on again. It's always a pleasure. And you can find me at youtube.com/drinkabeerplayagameofficial, on Twitter at ABeerAndAGame, Facebook and Instagram and all that other shit, Drink a Beer, Play a Game. Basically, you can come to us for drinking games and video game reviews and beer pairings. And we are the home of the Power Hour podcast, which is also on iTunes, which you have been a guest on before.
I have, and I was going to say it's my go-to video game podcast. I hold it near and dear to my heart, just like these guys, their channel. Get over there, check them out if you haven't. Beer and a Game on YouTube. Great stuff, great content, great guys. And had some big guests in the past. Recently, Ian from Pat the NES Punk, all that stuff. So get over there, check them out too. And I'm talking like, well, he first came in with that tag team with Butch Reed, right? Doom.
Yeah, Doom.
But they had masks and shit. And even when they took the masks off, they were kind of just there. They had a mouthpiece. But when he became that baby face, he was kind of, in a way, come at me, Chad Gable before Gable, because he had the headband. He had that decorated athletic past. And he was an All-American. Literally, that was his name, the All-American Ron Simmons. Fluorescent headbands galore. And I really liked Simmons as a kid. And I was... Looking back, it's weird that he didn't have that run longer, but I guess, retrospect, it worked out in the best for the company and for Simmons. Well, on to bigger and better things.
Pretty much, yeah. But it is weird that his top push only lasted so long. They were like, oh, we need a gimmick to get some asses in seats because it was, 1992, 93 WCW. But still, though, it's kind of a shame that I think a lot of people at this point think that Ron is, was kind of a one-note guy, but you just forget how big he was at different points in all the companies he was in.
The original Nation of Domination, though, we'll get back to Ahmed in a little bit, was the complete opposite, and I didn't know this until right before we went to do this, started in the USWA.
Our nation the Nation of Domination has did exactly that. We have dominated all day long on this TV show, and you're going to get that old hairy, stinky, redneck Dutch Mantel? Well, let me tell you something, Dutch Mantel. Bullwhipping went out of date 200 years ago, and if you think you're coming down to mess with the nation, you got another thing coming, right, Randy? Yeah, I want to tell you this, Dave Brown. Hey, you're not saying a word. You're not going to say a word.
Led by, who would go on in the WWF with the group, by PG-13, JC Ice, and Wolfie D. Real quick, have you ever seen the little clips of the Jamie Dundee shoot interviews on YouTube?
I've seen them, but nothing about them.
Holy shit. There's the first holy shit of the episode. Man, they're awful takes, but he's like the epitome of just a hillbilly in the trailer park.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine that. Oh boy.
I mean, let's be real. Any appearance, any gimmick would have been better than what they gave him. The Gladiator gimmick.
Yeah, I don't know what it was with WWE. I mean, they were spite. They were spite all the way with any WCW guy. You had the Ringmaster. You had Gladiator Ron Simmons. They didn't get a lot of good looks.
And that's the thing, too, which is really sad. I feel like they weren't meant to be spiteful. I really think that's the best fucking idea they had for these guys. Because you've seen the stories everyone has with Steve Austin about the names they gave him, like a FedEx or something one time for possible gimmicks, like Ice Dagger and shit like that. I've seen on like a couple propaganda documentaries and shit like that this gimmick was based off of Ben-Hur because Vince loved Ben-Hur. But somehow Vince got undies and fluorescent blue and just Nerf helmets out of Ben-Hur. It didn't work. And it was the last fucking guy in my mind, and Jim, I'm pretty sure you agree that you put that gimmick on.
Yeah, by far. It just made no sense. And then you team him with Sonny, so you have a Gladiator coming out with the girl from the Bonnie-Donnas. Like, that made any fucking sense.
And it's not like she was booked wholesome before this, because she was like jumping from tag team to tag team at the time, like the Godwins and the Smoking Guns, right, and shit like that. But this was not a good look. Was this for things to come? We just kind of like look into the crystal ball for what this came across as visually, and
Yeah, the implications, whether they were intentional or not, the implications were there.